We're looking at page 5 in Essential Elements. We're looking at two chords. Now, let's do a little bit of theory. This is a note. This is a chord. Do you hear the difference? One is a single string. It could be any of the strings. A chord is multiple strings, normally played together with a strum, but fingerstyled it could be individually. That's a whole nother word. Here is a chord. Now, there's good information on page number 4, and we'll talk about that when we get together and have our Zoom. That grid, that diagram at the bottom of page number 4 is huge. You will see that for the rest of your guitar playing life. So we'll go over that. We will refer to it as often and as many times as needed. The deal is that is what we learn. Now, so we're going to use that grid to do this C chord. If you'll look on page number 5, it says C chord, and then it has a grid or a diagram. Well, the dark line at the top, that's representing the nut. Then the lines going side to side horizontally, those represent the metal pieces called frets. The lines going or up and down vertical connected to the nut, those represent the 6 strings. And so as that diagram is facing you, the low E, closest to my nose, is to the left. As you look at it, it's the left. So the high string, the E going toward my knee, is on the far right. Now, so on that first string, there's no fingers. But on the second string, we're going to take finger number 1 and put it right at the first fret. Then there's no fingers on string number 3. If you'll notice string 4, 5, 6, they're little X's. That means don't play. Don't play those strings. The zeros or the O's stand for open over string number 3 and string number 1. It means play those strings, but don't touch them. Play them open. So here is that C chord. Third string open. Well, third string open. Second string, first finger, first fret. And then the E, which is first string open. So here's our C chord. Now, if you'll just see what's going to happen, we're going to take that same finger on that same fret, but move it to the first string. Take it off the second and move it to the first. Same 3 strings strummed, and it's a G7. And you've got to make that first string sound, or you have this. It's in a G, but we need this. Got to have that note for the 7. So we're playing a C and a G7. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is difficult for me because I'm used to playing a full C and a full G7. So just doing that one finger is a little difficult. So I'm right there with you, man. Okay, we're going to do Strum Builder number 1. Strum Builder number 1, called a perfect pair. It's down in the salmon color, as they tell me. The salmon color at the bottom of page number 5. Now, these forward slashes, right now, this stands for strum. So what you want to do with your eye is follow each forward slash. I can tell you there are 8 of them for each chord, but I'd rather you follow them because we're going to count them, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not like dancers, 5, 6, 7. We're going to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll talk about that at another time. So I'm going to put my first finger, first fret, second string, and that's my C. And when I finish the 8th one, I have to move it to the first string, and it gives me my G7. I would like for you to count with me the 4 preparatory beats, the 1, 2, ready, play, and then count each beat of the measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I will do my best to call out the chord change. Starting on C, page number 5, number 1, a perfect pair. Count the preps. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. G7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I hope that went well. Now, the only difference is in number 2, rolling along, is each chord only gets 4 strums. So it's a chord per measure. C is 4, G7 is 4, C is 4, G7 is 4, and then we end on a C, and even though they don't make a notation, we're going to let that last C just ring out for a little bit. Okay? Page 5, number 2, rolling along. I'm starting with a C chord, first finger, first fret, second string, playing only strings 3, 2, and 1. Please count the preparatory and each count of each measure. I will call out the next chord on beat 4 of each measure. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, G7, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, G7, 1, 2, 3, C, and 2, 3, 4, off. Nice. Now, I'm cutting it off with the fatty part of my palm. I'm just touching the strings. If I did a complete G, I've got enough to touch all 6 strings. Now, I'm not putting my hand down flat. You'll have noise. I'm just touching it. Just touching it. Not hitting it, just touching the strings. I don't want to touch the top of the guitar. 2, 3, 4, touch. So on this last C, 1, 2, 3, 4, touch. The touch comes on the 1 of the next measure. All right, have at it. We'll talk to you soon.